Hello, everyone. We're so excited for you to be here. I'm Brianna, and welcome to our education webinar where we will chat about using social media on and off of campus. We have experts, Caleb and Matt, who lead our partnerships with education institutions and higher ed. We also have Bryce and Michael producing behind the scenes, and we have all of you for joining in. Thank you so much for joining in. We love having you. You know, all of you can participate in this Tagboard webinar as well and be our special guests. All you have to do is ask your questions, share your successes, and even show us that you're tuning in and watching. By utilizing hashtag Tagboard webinar, you might see yourself right here below the screen if you're watching on tagboard.com. You also might see your social media posts pop up on screen as well. You know, we have a very exciting webinar planned today. We will be hearing from Erin Blackman, Auburn's IT specialist, focusing on communications and marketing. And we'll also be hearing from Patrick Borders from University of Notre Dame, who is the marketing specialist on the storytelling and engagement team. With that, we are so excited to be bringing these guests to all of you and just to see where this journey takes us. I'm going to go ahead and kick it right over to Matt and Caleb, who's going to be chatting with you with our first guest, Patrick, who we are so excited to share his innovative campaigns with all of you. Matt and Caleb?
All right. Thank you, Brianna. Thanks for, kicking it over to us. I'm here with Patrick from the University of Notre Dame, and he actually got his undergraduate and MBA from Wake Forest. He's very passionate about marketing in the university space. We did a recent activation, which is one of the most unique Giving Day activations we've seen. So we'll talk a little bit about that, but we're very excited to have him. And thank you for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, we'll start with, you telling us a little bit about yourself, how you came to Notre Dame and maybe what a day in the life looks like for you, or, how, your day breaks down.
All right. So as you said, went to undergrad and graduate school at Wake Forest. And then after getting my MBA, always sort of knew that Notre Dame was a special place. Have a lot of family like from around this area and who came here, saw this opportunity. And so I took it. It's been awesome. I've been here about a little over 2 years now. And day in the life, I'd say every day is a little new. Every day is a little different. But right now, my main roles are utilizing things such as Tagboard, and then some other services, some new technology to try to get in front of our donors, try to take our message to where they are as opposed to calling them at all hours of the day, and other things like that. So really trying to focus on social and then other emerging technologies to really contact people in a different, unique way.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Patrick. Hey, you used Tagboard in the last month for your Giving Day, and it was amazing. Can you talk to us a little bit about your successful, innovative activation and how social and Tagboard really played a big part of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And so first, to just give you a little background about the Giving Day, it's a live broadcast that we do. It's 29 hours long. There's 7 hours between 2 and 8 a.m., between 2 and 9 a.m. maybe, where we repurpose some broadcasts. But besides that, it's all live. And so what we do and what we did this year with Tagboard is as a part of the broadcast, every hour, we would check in on our social media lounge. And in that space, we used Tagboard on 2 different large display screens where we could feature content that was being shared on social using our hashtag NDDay. And we really did that to try to bring social to the broadcast, because we did have the broadcast on Facebook Live and then also on our website, but we wanted people to interact with us, especially on social, because that's where all the clubs and student groups were really getting their message out and trying to get votes. And so we used that area to highlight content that they were pushing out, as well as content that we were pushing out, to just help these groups amplify their message through the broadcast as well as on social.
It was amazing how you incorporated all of the platform, all of the Tagboard platform. You used the web embed, you used the ticker, you used the grid mode. It was just such a unique activation. How did it all come about? How did this activation start, and who was the kind of the brainchild behind that?
Yeah. So Tagboard specifically, we had used actually another service in previous years, and we were looking for a little something different.
Cool.
That quite frankly would be easier for us to use on the back end, and still look very professional, still look very clean on the broadcast. That was the big thing for us because we want to make sure that anything that's going on this broadcast that's on the main site is going to look great.
Cool.
And so a colleague of mine and myself, we had heard of Tagboard, so checked it out, saw that you did have the broadcast capabilities, and something we were really interested in was the ticker actually that you mentioned. Because that's what we use to display what's coming up next.
Okay.
And that's a key component for us. And then also we have hourly challenges that we push to that ticker. So that way the hosts and the guests don't have to actually talk about hourly challenges.
Cool.
So that's something that we're looking for. And then it was absolutely amazing on the day of. And it was really, it was great because we have a lot of people that come in on the day of to just help us out behind the scenes.
Cool.
And so Tagboard, it was great to be able to train them and to say, like, this is what we need to highlight for the ticker. This is what we want on the website. And then this type of material we want on the displays in the social media lounge. So it was great to really use all of those capabilities.
Cool. It was an amazing activation. Thanks for sharing with us. Can you talk a little bit about the success of the Giving Day and how much money was raised?
Yeah. So the goal of our Giving Day is really just to activate the entire Notre Dame family in a very equitable way. And so no matter how much you give, it's all about a minimum gift of $10.
Okay.
And you give $10, you get 5 votes, and then you can vote for multiple areas on campus, up to 900 different choices.
Oh, wow.
And so we just encourage $10 gifts. And so at the end of the day, we were extremely pleased. We had just over 25,000 gifts. And so it was our largest Giving Day to date. It was our 4th Giving Day. And so we're really happy with that.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's incredible.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how social has kind of changed how Giving Days are run? I would love to hear, how in your experience, maybe previous years or previous things that you've done for Giving Days, or even with your time at Wake Forest, like how social has actually kind of changed the game for things like that.
Oh, absolutely. So now, I'd say year one, while I wasn't here, I did hear quite a bit about it. And we focused a lot year one on really blasting out our message through email,
Okay.
and even a few mail pieces to try to get out to the whole Notre Dame family, and then also like utilize social some. But it's really interesting just as the Giving Days have progressed here this year in our 4th, our main communication, we do send out a couple emails, but besides that, we rely heavily on social. So much, in fact, that so I have an entire plan that's about 3 months long just for the Giving Day. And then also we had weekly seminars it was just open door seminars for any student group that wanted to come in. So we could really sit them down and walk them through not just how the giving platform works and the voting and all that great stuff, but what to do on social and how to really get their message out. Because we do see millions and millions of impressions on the day.
Mm-hmm.
Here, just on Twitter and Instagram, the hashtag ND Day, we had about 12.9 million impressions.
Wow.
And so we really see just a ton of content, and it's great to see everyone interacting, and it's a fun time, and people, and that's what we've noticed about the day in particular. We're able to have more fun with it and be a little more lighthearted and everything through social, which has really changed just the entire tone.
Cool. Awesome. Cool.
That's amazing. So that kind of segues into my next question. What were some of the highlight moments during the 29-hour live event? Anything else that you think the group would appreciate knowing about this unique activation and the event?
Yeah, I'd say a few of the highlight moments that really helped us on social, and then that we also utilize specifically in the broadcast on the Tagboard displays. We had some larger name guests come in and also hosts. Like we had Joe Theismann, who hosted a good portion of our broadcast. So that was great. That was great to get his buy-in on social. But then we also had a producer of the Chicago Hamilton is a Notre Dame graduate, and so he came
cool.
with the person who plays Alexander Hamilton, and then the individual who plays his wife as well. So they were on the broadcast,
Wow.
and they did a performance, and so that was awesome. And we were able to talk to them ahead of time and say, well, like, we will be tagging you in some stuff. If you could help us share it, that would be great.
Yeah.
And so they were able to just really help us get our message out through social. And then we highlighted that on the broadcast. We had a countdown, the go-to and feature that was on the Tagboard in venue displays.
Cool. Awesome. That's pretty cool. I mean, Jill Theismann being on your broadcast is pretty awesome.
A lot of famous alumni, I'm sure, came through.
Cool.
Awesome.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot of fun to see them.
Awesome. Transitioning now to, talk a little bit about what you're excited for in terms of like future things, like obviously you guys just did this awesome activation. What are some of your hopes and dreams and goals for, the future and your community and what you guys can do there?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm really excited to start to bring campus to the Notre Dame family that is really a nationwide and even a global family. And so we're trying to start doing that through more takeovers and student features.
Cool.
We're all about my role on the storytelling team here. We're all about trying to tell as many stories in the best way as possible. And we see with all the things that social is doing, especially across the platforms, how they're rolling out or have had in place for some time, the functionality to tell day-long stories. And so really using those to tell a student story in a day, repurpose it and share it on a broadcast.
Cool. Awesome. That's great.
All right. Anything else you think? How about a freestyle question? What are any new trends that you're seeing that you want to share? You're on the cutting edge and you're a thought leader in this space. Are you seeing anything that has caught your eye of late?
The thing that I really love and that we're starting to ramp up much more is the just Instagram stories, which have been around for a few months now, but the users on Instagram stories and the amount that they've increased since they launched has been just absolutely astronomical. And so being able to sort of like hack the algorithm by getting your story at the top of everyone's timeline who follows you is a great way to get your message across as soon as you want to get it across. So that's something that we're looking at doing more and more going down the road.
Cool. No, that's great. That's good
cool.
insights. That's good insights. Awesome. Patrick, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. This was awesome. Appreciate it. And we're going to kick it back over to Brianna to kind of close us out.
Thanks so much, Caleb and Matt. Wow, that was truly inspiring, all of the things that Patrick had to say. A few things that really stood out to me was the fact that they went live for 29 hours straight. Can you believe that? We're live for 30 minutes right now. And can you imagine an extra 28 and a half hours? Wow, that's amazing. And everything that you brought into that live moment, that 360 experience, everything from social on your website to on air and even your social media zone. Very inspiring. Things that also stood out was the fact that you talked about how the game has kind of changed for you in the giving days, whereas before you really got, people emailing you and participating, but now people are able to participate right on social media and have that real-time conversation and be able to have more engagement. Something that also stood out to me was when you were talking about what's next. You really highlighted your Instagram stories and how you've been able to hack the algorithm to pop your live story directly to the top of everyone's feed so they can go ahead and tune in and see what you're talking about. Truly inspiring stuff. Thanks so much, Patrick. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at what's happening on social media. So seeing a lot of your chatter coming in from Nicole. Thanks so much, Nicole, for tuning in. Excited to learn more about social media engagement with the Takeovers webinar. Thanks so much. Continue to share what you all are seeing and what you have to share. We also have MTVH09 who took a selfie of what he's seeing on his view, and he's saying he's checking out the Takeovers webinar. Excited to have you. Thanks for tuning in. We have Traders Point Christian Academy, who is tuning in as well. Hello, everyone. We have Amanda Anderson back at her desk just in time for that Tagboard webinar talking about social engagement. And Jeff Mason, he's grabbing lunch and settling right in to watch the Tagboard webinar. Wow, truly amazing having each and every one of you join us for the webinar today to really hear what everybody's doing in this space, bringing social media around your everyday campaigns and helping your fans, your viewers, your alumni, your students participate in the community of what's happening on and off of your campus. Next, we're really excited to be chatting with Erin from Auburn. We know we've been working with him for several years. They do so many different creative campaigns, and we're really excited to hear from Erin, who works directly with the Auburn alumni, where they do hospitality tailgate events at football games. They do Lifetime Achievement Awards to celebrate the alumni. They even have an Auburn magazine to highlight good alumni stories. Wow, that's just the surface level. Let's go ahead and pass it over to Matt and Caleb so he can chat with Erin, hear a little bit more about what he does, what the school does, and hear how they bring social media into the mix. Matt and Caleb?
Awesome. Thanks, Brianna. I'm really excited to introduce Erin Blackman, Auburn IT specialist focusing on communication and marketing. Welcome, Erin.
Thanks, guys. Thank you all for having me.
Yep, we're really excited to chat with you today. Erin is a graduate from Auburn University. He's been on staff at Auburn since 2014, and he's done a phenomenal job at activating social for their alumni group and has just done some amazing things for the university. We're excited to hear from him today, and we want to ask a few questions. Are you ready to go?
Ready to go.
All right. So tell us about a day in the life of you as the Auburn IT specialist in communication and marketing. What does that look like? What's the day-to-day? What fun things do you get to work on in your job?
I'll focus more on the digital media that our office puts out. So any day I'm working with our website, our email marketing, all the way to our video projects, and of course our social media.
So over the last 4 years, Auburn's been an amazing partner with Tagboard. Highlights and some of your favorite moments in some of the different social media activations and campaigns that you've done with Auburn and Tagboard.
Yeah, absolutely. So while this is not with our office, I got to mention the big one, which is our Jumbotron at the football stadium.
Right.
Largest in the SEC, but not bragging. But for us personally, I mean, it has really just heightened our event space. When people come in and see, we posted up on a big video screen. For people to come in and see that, you can feel that it automatically changes the space when people come in. It draws their attention. It makes them feel like we have really put forward an effort to make this a special thing for them. Recently, we just did our class of 2017 send-off, which was pretty fun. We celebrate all the seniors graduating at Auburn University. And it's just really cool to get to see people making memories as they're about to leave Auburn. So I think that's definitely a big highlight for us every year.
Awesome. That's good to hear. So you kind of mentioned it a little bit in terms of, other ways that Auburn uses Tagboard outside of, alumni specifically for yourself and then from athletics. Do you know of any other ways that Tagboard's used at Auburn? Tell us a little bit about kind of how you guys utilize it, in different areas.
Yeah, definitely. So with just being part of our office, we do what we do. We've actually had a lot of people come up to us and ask us how they can start this with their program.
Cool.
I'm not aware of anybody using it right now except for us in athletics, but we try and be two of the big trendsetters on campus. So I'm hoping to see this come more and more onto our campus in the different departments, schools, and colleges.
Hey, Erin, what are some of the new trends you're seeing in the space? Things are moving at lightning speed and changing so fast. Any cool stuff that you're seeing that you're excited to try, or maybe that you're doing that you could share with the rest of the group?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm calling this the Snapchat effect. That's not a technical term. It's definitely something that we're seeing with the effect that they've had on all the social media platforms, which and the way that they do stories and the way that they're doing the filters and everything like that. It's really impacted us on Facebook and Instagram, even though we don't have a Snapchat account yet. And that's what we're doing when we engage our alumni. We are storytelling. So it's really cool to see that trend affecting so many different platforms, and then how we're using it now. We're able to tell those quicker stories, with these types of changes. Another thing is, it's not too new, but it's definitely video, and more specifically the live events. We've had some pretty good success with doing Facebook Live and moving into YouTube Live. It's giving people an experience they wouldn't normally be able to have.
Cool.
And I know the research that I've been doing, I mean, brands are reporting major spikes in users and revenue, and we're seeing the same thing. So I think it's going to continue on into this year, and it'll be exciting to see how they improve upon it.
Yep, definitely. I mean, the Snapchat effect is a great way of describing that. I mean, in terms of short, punchy stories, that's cool. That's kind of moving itself into other platforms. Definitely really, really awesome. In terms of the future, what kind of hopes do you have in terms of, maybe storytelling, or maybe, community focus? Like, what are your hopes for like the future of Auburn and your community specifically?
Yeah, so my hopes really are to bridge that gap between when our alumni graduate and when they're out in the world. And social is it has some amazing capabilities to do that, whether it's, being able to message somebody immediately when they have a question, the video stuff that we talked about, giving them that live experience, even though they can't come back to campus. Even stepping into the virtual reality world where, a college campus is changing so much. We're starting to look at ways that we can give our alumni information and let them feel like they can come back, even maybe when they can't. So that's really my hope. I think it's definitely possible, and I think we're on our way to doing that. Is that we would just continue to bridge that gap of, we're here for you even if you leave the city of Auburn.
Cool. That's awesome. Anything else you think that you'd like to share with the group, or you think that they would like to know before we cut you loose?
I think that's it for me. Other than, y'all have just been a great resource for us. And like I said, I can't describe the enhanced feeling that it gives our events and everything when people walk in. It really does change the atmosphere. So
cool. Well, we appreciate, very much you joining us. Thanks for taking some time. I'll let Matt.
Yeah, you've been a fantastic partner. We appreciate you. We appreciate Auburn University. Hashtag War Eagle. And thank you very much for joining us today, Erin. I'm going to kick it back to Brianna. So you have a good rest of the day, and back to you, Brianna. Thanks.
Thanks so much, Matt and Caleb. Wow, Erin, those were some great points that you pointed out to all of us. Some things that stood out to me was the biggest thing that you said is having social at your events really changes the space the minute that everyone walks in, and we feel that same way. Something else that really stood out was the fact that you said the Snapchat effect. Really making it popular for fast stories to be a thing. And now, you guys are doing the same thing and same type of storytelling on all of the other platforms like Facebook and Instagram. I totally agree with that. Love being able to do a quick 10-second video and have that encompass the entire story that I'm trying to tell. The last thing that really stood out to me was that you're really focused on doing more live video on Facebook and YouTube. And what you're noticing with those live videos is that you're seeing a spike in engagement and revenue. That is so amazing. We're going to go ahead and see what's going online right now. We have so many of you participating. Thanks so much. Jamie, this is what he says. What she says, while we're rivals on the football field, it's always great to hear from another member of the SEC fam, Auburn University, during the Tagboard webinar. We love that too. Moving the industry together, all of us can do that, whether or not we're rivals. Brandy is saying, enjoying some on-the-job learning with the Tagboard webinar. Thanks so much for tuning in. And then we also have John. Great thoughts about Instagram stories, and I'll be sure to use it at my commencement. That's so amazing to hear that we're inspiring each and every one of you to participate on social, try new things, engage with your communities, and be active on your social with your community. A little bit of a different twist that we're going to go ahead and do here. We're almost about ready to wrap up, but what we would love to do is pose a few last questions to all of you. And what we want you to do is, if you have answers to these questions, we want you to join the conversation. Share your answers online by utilizing hashtag Tagboard webinar. So a couple things that we would love to hear from you. Number one, tell us what you've seen in this space over the years. You know, maybe you're just starting out, maybe you've been in this space for 10 years already. We really want to hear what you're noticing in this space. What did it look like 3 years ago, and what does it look like today? The next thing that we would love to hear from all of you is, you know, if you can run your own college or university social campaign, what would that look like? Or maybe you're already doing it and you want to share your best practices with the rest of the community. We encourage you to do so. And last but not least, what are you most excited about for the future in this space? We would love your answers. We want to know what you're thinking. We want to continue this conversation. So go ahead, tune in, answer the questions, continue to participate in the conversation by utilizing hashtag Tagboard webinar. And we want to thank each and every one of you for joining today. We really appreciate having you in our world. Please continue to participate, and we'll be back again. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.